Yet again, please take your seats. We're going to get started. Yet again, I can say that I am welcoming to the stage another great Polish leader to make the introduction. Now, I must say the reason that I got to know Janusz Onyszkiewicz in the first case is because I was one of those mercenary journalists who needed information, and he was the spokesman for Solidarity who had it. And he was, I think sometimes people underestimate how crucial that position was, because so much of the information that would reach Poland came first through us as journalists and then came back to Poland through Radio Free Europe and other channels. Hear that beeping? Okay. This is a man who was involved in Solidarity, as I noted, before becoming Polish Minister of Defense after the fall of communism. As I said, I have a particular relationship with him, and I think that this moment in history cannot be underestimated, the role that individuals played at these crucial moments. I then played another role with Janusz, and I don't know whether he wants to reveal how this all happened because I still don't know entirely myself. But I received letters as a Wall Street Journal editor and reporter that he smuggled out of prison during Poland's martial law, which were then published in the Wall Street Journal, showing that the spirit of Solidarity was durable and could not be extinguished. After the fall of communism, Janusz became a member of the Polish parliament before becoming one of the first civilian vice ministers. He then went to become Minister of National Defense of Poland, not one, but 2 times in the early 1990s, and then from 1997 to 2000. It is thrilling for me, as such a student of Poland, to have so many heroes of a free democratic Poland in one room. Ladies and gentlemen, Janusz Onyszkiewicz.
Well, the years 70s, late 70s and beginning of 80s was a very seminal period for democracy in Poland and for democracy in Europe. These years were the years where Polish opposition got consolidated, Solidarity was born, but that was not the only contribution to the democracy as far as these years are concerned. The other contribution, which at the beginning was underestimated, was the birth of Essra Abdel Fattah. As a young girl, she joined as a volunteer of Liberal Democratic Party, centered on human rights and the empowerment of women, party of young people, party which has the name very telling. It was Al-Ghad, which means tomorrow. And really she was all the time committed to the issue of human rights, and she was as trained journalist committed to contact people. And that's how she was a part of a group of people which helped to launch a Facebook group which soon got 74,000 registered members. The beginning of the activity was to appeal to people to join the strikers protesting against the raise of prices and poor salaries. But that was not the only contribution. But nevertheless, this activity was very highly recognized by the authorities, and this was expressed in a similar to any other cases way, very typical for autocratic systems. She was simply arrested. And she got a certain privilege to be the first Arab woman arrested for political reasons. Hopefully, she was not kept all the time, and she could join the whole movement and help to build the whole movement of mass protest, which then was seen on the famous square in Egypt. And she became known as a Facebook girl, and her face and her voice became the face and voice of the whole movement. It is not only that she was very instrumental in bringing about these changes and in generating this movement in Egypt, but she is still very active in political life, instructing people how to cope with new opportunities and with new challenges. And because of that, in the year 2011, she was nominated as one of the most powerful Arab women, which is quite an achievement. I think that that's probably enough to justify the award we are going to give her. So, Essra, welcome.
Thank you all. It's my honor to address this audience tonight, full of individuals who embody the values of freedom, democracy, and justice. I would like to thank the Atlantic Council and Mr. Kemp, its president, for inviting me to receive this Distinguished Freedom Award on behalf of Egypt youth. Also, I wanted to thank, I tried to say it in Polish, dziękuję. The mayor of Wroclaw, Mr. Dudkiewicz. And thank also everyone participate to make this event very successful and so amazing. I believe all Egyptian people deserve this great award, and especially the Egyptian people who sacrificed their life in struggles for a free and a democratic Egypt. This award means a lot to me. It means that Egypt and its people deserve freedom and democracy after their very long years of repression and restrictions of freedoms and dictatorship. Yes, the Egyptian people, as usual, write their history. Yes, the Egyptian revolution should be taught in schools. And yes, most importantly, world leaders were right to speak out in support of all Arab revolution. Egyptians have suffered from severe injustice, corruption, and suppressions of freedom. But finally, they revolted against all these bad values to move towards dignity, freedom, and democracy. Egypt youth struggled for years against this bad and unjust regime, and they used all the tools within reach in their struggles. When they found that all the tools for opposing the tyrant were totally controlled by the regime, they created their own tool using technology and the new media. They succeeded in using this tool to a very great and effective extent, creating their own revolution, striking down this regime, and drawing the entire world's attention to El Tahrir Square. Egyptian youth were arrested, beaten, insulted, tortured, and killed. All that for Egypt. The Egyptian youth were the torch of the Egyptian revolution. They started, called, motivated, struggled, and finally, all Egypt heard their voices, accepted their call, and joined them in 25th January Revolution. Thank you, all Western world leaders, representative here, for stopping, keeping away from what happened in the Arab world, and starting to be in effective touch with what happened there, as it is a great chance now to listen and understand our real values and the principle through our struggle. Thank you all for nominating the youth of Egypt for this award. And thank you for recognizing the importance of their efforts. And let me, at the end, thank all Egyptians for all their efforts and struggles, which leads them to deserve this brilliant award. Thank you.